I'm figuring out my new, what do you call this thing that holds the phone? Tripod. I guess it's a quad pod because it has 4 legs. Um, but anyway, looks like I have that, and then I'm going to start recording, and we're going to start doing some yoga. And yeah, so, oh my gosh, this is not, I don't know if this is going to work. I should have tested this out before I went to the, the big show. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Okay, I already started this. I want to start recording. Okay. Good morning, who I assume is Ava and Jason. Glad you guys are here. Glad to be here. So I titled this class Getting Through. And some of my impetus for titling the class that was I was thinking about how the new year often brings a resurgence in interest in yoga, and I know you guys have been stalwart practitioners, but I think a lot of people have the idea at this time of year is that they want to like yoga, and there's perhaps things in our lives as yoga practitioners that we want to like. We just like, this is the year that I'm gonna like that thing. But sometimes starting something new is just about getting through the struggle of a new beginning. And so with that in mind, I often have instruction around relishing the practice or enjoying every moment. But that, especially if you're a beginner, and even just certain days that might not be realistic to enjoy the practice. And there is sometimes just an element of getting through. The goal could just be to finish the class, to stay on your mat for 90 minutes. And that's okay too. So in that space though, can we just be present enough to enjoy some of the moments? The moment where something maybe does feel kind of good, or you do feel a little bit relaxed. Your breath does feel a little more easeful than it did, earlier in the day. So yeah, let's get started. Keeping all of that in mind. Gonna get through this trial run of my new tripod. And here we go. So, if you have not already, which I assume you have, roll out your mat, get your props, and take a seat. We're going to start in a very traditional way today by taking a cross-legged seat. If a cross-legged seat is not suitable for you, you could even sit in a chair or take some other manner of seated position. Once you find your seat, close your eyes, find a place to rest your hands, and let's do something different. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, and then exhale with a sigh. Let your shoulders slump down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, sigh it out. Let the shoulders down. Inhale again. Scrunch up, lengthen the sides of the body, and exhale. Slump the shoulders down. Let's take some slow circles with the head. Just starting to explore a range of motion. You don't have to get the ear to the shoulder. You don't have to let the head loll all the way back or all the way forward, and then go in the other direction. Maybe 3 times in each direction. And let's let's do another thing. Bring the chest forward and make big circles with the upper body. So you can kind of feel the sits bones shifting weight. So moving from pressure in the left sits bones to pressure in the right sits bone. As you make these big elliptical movements with the upper body in one direction, and then maybe 2 or 3 times in the opposite direction. Okay, now let's settle into the legs and hips. Grow tall along the spine. Lengthen along the back of the neck and lift through the crown of the head. Soften the fingers, relax your palms. Let the weight of your forearms descend towards the earth. Shoulder blades on the back, shoulder blades down the back. And now focus on your breath. Breathe in and out through your nostrils. And begin Ujjayi Pranayama, the triumphant uprising breath. Do this by drawing in a gentle contraction at the back of your throat. And listen for the sound of your breathing. Imagine filling your lungs from bottom to top. Imagine emptying your lungs from top to bottom. You might use the imagery of a pitcher. So as you inhale, the pitcher fills with water, brimming at the top. As you exhale, pour the water out, pouring every drop of water out at the bottom of the pitcher, at the bottom of the breath. Some interesting things that happen during yoga is when you are asked to visualize something, consider what your visualization is. Perhaps it will make it more effective or more real if you really give the picture a dimension, a material that it's made out of. Really get a clear vision, and nothing's right, nothing's wrong about your visualization. Please fill and empty your pitcher 3 more times. keep your eyes closed. Bring your hands together in front of your heart, and we will chant Om 3 times before starting more movement. Exhale, empty your lungs, pour out the water. Inhale, fill the pitcher, and as you empty the pitcher this time, we're going to make the sound of Om. Bow your head to your heart, release your palms to your thighs, and slowly lift your head as you open your eyes. With your next inhale, sweep the arms overhead, reach up, look up, palms touch at the top. Exhale, hands down through heart center and arms to your sides. Again, inhale to reach, lift up, grow tall. Exhale, hands down through heart center and arms to your sides. Last time, inhale. Fill the pitcher, reach up, exhale, empty the pitcher, arms down. One more time to inhale, sweep the arms up. And then as you exhale this time, revolve the chest to the right, land the left hand on the right thigh, right fingertips behind. Inhale, exhale, revolve. Keep the chest broad, inhale. Exhale, look back. One more inhale here. And exhale, soften the mouth, settle the hips. Inhale, back to center, sweep the arms overhead, reach up, possibly look up, and exhale, chest towards the left. Land the right hand on the left thigh, left hand behind. Inhale, grow tall. And exhale, revolve. Inhale, lift up through the crown of the head, chest broad. Exhale, soften the mouth, gaze towards the back wall. Inhale again, last biggest breath. Exhale, any deeper. Inhale, back to center, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands down through heart center, arms to your sides. Switch the cross of your legs, bring the opposite ankle on top. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, revolve the chest to the right. Inhale, sweep up, reach up. Exhale, revolve the chest to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center, grow tall, and exhale, land the hands on the floor or the mat in front of you, and extend your chin and chest forward. You might gradually start to walk your hands forward as you drape the front of the body over the tops of the feet. Folding forward, keep your hips grounded, rooted towards the earth. And then you might start to settle the forearms down to the floor, release the forehead down to the mat, tilt the chin gently towards the chest, and breathe. Can you access the back body with breath? And recall that concept of the option to enjoy. So is there something of, is there an ounce of pleasure in this moment to be felt, to be excavated? So where can you release? Where can you surrender? And with your next inhale, slowly walk your way back up to your seated position, and then uncross your legs if you have them crossed. Come up off of the padding, and we'll come all the way up to stand. Place your feet hip-width distance apart and lift and spread those toes. Imagine roots growing from your feet into the earth, and feel the strength of your legs beneath you, holding you up. Trust and perhaps even be grateful for the fact that you can stand up right now. Tone the legs, so as though somebody is looking at your legs and you want to show them just how strong your legs are. So flex your legs, push down through the feet, grow up tall along your spine, roll your shoulders back, and turn your palms forward. Open your palms, spread your fingers, lift up through the crown of the head, long neck. And then as you inhale, sweep the arms overhead. As you exhale, bend the knees gently to fold forward. Bring your fingertips to the floor or to a block or blocks in front of you. And then walk out your forward fold gently. So bending one knee, reach the opposite hip, up and out as the upper body hangs forward. You might do a little shaking of the head, nodding it yes, shaking it no, to identify tension in the neck and perhaps finding some release or surrender of that tension. You might be noticing the outer hips as you lengthen each leg in turn, getting some release throughout the lower back. And then come back to neutral, keeping any amount of bend in your knees as you push your feet down, lift your hips up, keep the legs toned and strong, extend down through the crown of your head. Depending on how close your hands are to the floor, you might even begin to bend your elbows out towards either side of the room, shrugging the shoulders away from the ears, lengthening the sides of the neck as you lift up high through the hips, lengthening the backs of the legs, becoming more aware of the back body through this shape. And throughout, you are breathing. You are breathing, I am breathing, we are breathing. And then as you inhale next, bring your fingertips to your shins, roll your shoulders onto your back. You might either reach your chin forward or extend the crown of your head towards the front of the room. Your choice. Push your feet down, lift your hips up, lengthen along the back body as though you're making a table with the back. And then as you exhale, fold even more deeply forward. Fingertips to blocks or to the mat, release the head down. 2 more times, inhale, lift to the halfway position. Make that table with your back, shoulder blades on the back. And then exhale, release forward, fingertips down. Again, inhale, come on up. And exhale, flow forward, head down, hands down. Inhale, root to rise. Push through the feet, grow tall, reach up, look up, palms touch. Exhale, hands down through heart center, arms to your side, shoulders back, palms forward. Again, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, flow forward with the breath, pouring out the pitcher. Release the head with the last drop. Inhale, fingertips to the shins. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, rise up, fill the pitcher, reach up to the top. Exhale, hands through heart center, arms to your sides. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fluidly moving forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands through heart center. One more time with your own breath. Flow through a half sun salutation. Meet back in the shape of the mountain. Feeling the strength of your legs, feeling the connection with the earth, broad across the chest, tall along the neck, soft in the face. And now from the mountain, we're going to turn into a tree. So hands to the hips, step down into the left foot, turn the right knee and the right toes out towards the right. And then we're going to take the right foot to the inside of the calf or the inside of the thigh. To place it on the thigh, you might use your hand. And then once you have the placement of the foot against the leg, press the foot into the leg, leg into the foot. So focus on that for a moment, that pressure towards the middle line, strengthening the trunk of your tree as you continuously root down. Hands to heart center, shoulder blades on the back, collarbones broad. Perhaps feel the tips of your fingers together. So I find that these moments of enjoyment can be found in practice when I am curious about my experience. So can you cultivate curiosity rather than having the mindset that we often come to on our mats is, I'm doing this wrong, I should be better. Maybe kind of transforming that or channeling that into a more curious mindset. Being explorers of our experience rather than judges of our bodies. So what might you find interesting in this moment? Perhaps you can focus on the little micro movements of the left foot, trying to keep you upright. Again, maybe there's that sensation of fingertip against fingertip. Left and right meeting at the central channel. And then perhaps your limbs reach up, growing like the branches of your tree, becoming a tree. And then all sorts of things can happen with the arms. You can sway the arms side to side. You can have the hands together. You can challenge your balance by looking forward, closing your eyes, or even tilting the head back. If you fall out of your tree, pick your tree back up. Reroot, re-rise, regrow. And then as you're ready, bring the hands back through heart center, arms to your sides, and make your way out of your tree for the second side. So right foot grounds, spread those toes before placing them down, growing the roots, establishing a base, tone the muscles of the right leg, turn the left knee, left toes out. So I start with my hands on my hips because oftentimes as the knee turns out to the left, the hips will angle to the left as well. But you want to keep the hips generally turned forward to get this extension through the left inner thigh. And then place the left foot to the inside of the calf or the inside of the thigh. So the placement of the foot, it might change from day to day. You might need a little more a little more stability some days, in which case the foot might be closer to the ground, the left foot. And then bring that, that pressure towards the middle line. That's stability. Left moving into right, right pushing into left. And then hands are doing the same thing at your heart center. And then again, consider how you are approaching the practice, how you are meeting this moment. And if there is that, tendency, which I would say all of us have experienced, of feeling that this moment is not what it should be, then can you kind of reroute that thinking to a more curious intent? Like, what does it feel like to be in my body in this shape? What discoveries can I make here? Again, there's always breath. Each pose is accompanied by and influenced by breath. And either choose to stay here, growing your roots, strengthening your trunk, or perhaps starting to grow branches up and out, extending through each fingertip like twigs. And then play with it here. Do you want to sway your arms from side to side as though gentle breeze is blowing? Do you want to take your gaze forward, attempt closing your eyes or tilting your head back to look up beyond the thumbs? Do you want to bring hands together? And again, if you fall out, reapproach, reroot, re-rise, replant, regrow. And hands come down through heart center, arms to your sides, left foot back to the floor. Come on down into a tabletop position. We're not going to do too much weight bearing on the arms today, but this is one place where we will do it. So come into a tabletop position. If this is, if you have an injury that prevents you from bearing weight in the arms, you could also do this from rock pose. So we're going to do some cat and cow, so this can be done with the chest moving forward and back in rock pose, or in tabletop with the knees hip width distance and the wrists below the shoulders. Inhale, belly and chest down, tailbone and gaze, lift, contracting the back body, opening the front body, and then exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, tailbone towards the floor, belly button towards the ceiling, push the earth with the hands, dome the upper back in cow pose. Or no, this is cat pose. Inhale to cow, swaying the back body, opening the front body, and exhale to cat. So continue to move with the pace of your breath, exploring the range of motion of your spine, and you might even make some modifications to this movement, shifting the hips from side to side, bending the elbows, focusing on one pose for additional breath. So again, notice your approach to the practice. So it's okay to feel like the practice is just something to get through. That, something in your life is just something to get through. But even through that time, are there moments that you can focus on to find pleasure, to find enjoyment, to discover something new? to a neutral spine and swing your legs forward so that you're sitting on your bottom with your feet in front of you. And then we're going to cup the knees or the shins with the hands and then rock back and roll forward. Rock back and roll forward. So there's a lot of fluid water imagery today. So as you exhale, flow back. As you inhale, flow forward. Feel the pressure of the mat on your back. And likely the whatever surface is under your mat is going to influence how you experience this. So if you have a carpeted floor, you're going to feel this differently than if you have a hardwood floor. Okay, let's come back to the seated position and then push your hands, come to a forward fold. So standing, folded forward at the top of your mat. Release the head down, hips high. Inhale, fingertips to the shins. Half lift, tabletop with the back. Exhale, fold in. Inhale to rise. Arms overhead. Exhale, hands to your sides. Back to the mountain. So I'm going to do one of my favorite flows, the C salutation. So we're going to do a lot of those movements that we just did, the rolling forward and back, and incorporate a little half awkward chair in this sequence as well. So stand with your feet either hip width distance apart, or you can try this with feet together. Stand in Tadasana. As you inhale next, sweep the arms overhead. As you exhale, fold forward. If you haven't done this with me before, just watch on the first round. Inhale, come to a halfway lift, fingertips on the shins. And as you exhale, sink your hips into your imaginary chair, possibly with fingertips on the floor to support your weight shifting down. Inhale, reach your arms forward like you're holding a box, keeping the hips low. And then as you exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips to the floor, and sweep your legs overhead to the best of your ability. Arms by your legs. Inhale, come on back forward. Balance on your feet. Sit in your chair. Reach your arms forward. Half awkward chair. Exhale, hips high, head low. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, hands through heart center, arms to your side, back to the mountain. Again, inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, flow forward, head down, hips high. Inhale, fingertips to the shins. Exhale, sit into your imaginary chair. Inhale, arms forward, hips stay low. Exhale, melt the hips, sweep the legs overhead. Inhale, roll forward like a wave, come forward, half chair. Exhale, push the feet down, lift the hips high, release the head. Inhale, push down through the feet, reach up, look up, palms touch. Exhale, hands down through heart center, arms to your side, mountain pose. Inhale again, reach up. Exhale, flow forward, hips high, head low. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, support yourself as you sit your hips into the chair. Inhale, arms forward, hips stay low, gaze forward. Exhale, sink the hips, sweep the legs overhead. Inhale, balance, coming forward, back onto the feet, hips low. Exhale, hips high, head low, fold in. Inhale, push down, root to rise, reach up, palms touch. Exhale, hands through heart center, arms to your sides. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, flow forward, sink the hips into the chair. Inhale, arms forward. Exhale, hips back, sweep the legs overhead. Inhale, momentum coming forward, balance on the feet. Exhale, straighten the legs, hips high, head low. Inhale to rise, push down through the feet, reach up, palms touch. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides, Tadasana. Return to the mountain, pushing through the feet, strong legs, Tall spine, broad chest, open palms, extension through the fingers, length through the neck, tall through the crown of the head. Breath in and out through the nostrils. Fill the pitcher 3 times. Empty the pitcher 3 times. Okay, when you've completed 3 rounds of conscious breath in your mountain pose, we're going to set up for our goddess pose. So take your feet 3 to 3.5 feet apart. And as I always say, often you'll adjust your feet as you come down into this shape. Okay, so angle your toes out at about a 45-degree angle and think about your knees bending in the same direction that your toes are pointing. Hands to hips. Superhero pose, roll the shoulders back, reach the chest up and open it up as your cape billows out behind you. And then exhale, bend your knees in the direction of your toes as you sink your hips towards the earth. Extend through the inner thighs, through the inner knees, contract from the outer knees to the outer hips. So get longer in the inner thighs, get shorter in the outer thighs. Chest lifts, crown of the head tall. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. And exhale, bring your arms down like football goalposts. So elbows bent at 90 degrees, palms facing forward. Look forward. Soften your face, strengthen your resolve. This might be the sense of just getting through it. And get through it for 5, 4, can you get through it with curiosity? 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs, reach the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees in the direction of the toes. Bring the elbows down to that 90 degrees, palms forward, weight in the heels. Crown of the head towards the sky. Get through it for 5, 4, be curious as you get through it. 3, 2, 1, straighten the legs, reach the arms up. And last time, exhale, bend the knees, extend through the inner thighs, bend the elbows, upper body back, tailbone down, weight in the heels, soften the face, get through it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs, reach the arms up. And exhale, arms to your sides. Heel toe the feet in to about hip width distance apart. So here we are in 2021. Last year, my New Year's resolution was to hula hoop, and I took you guys all on that ride with me. We're still doing it in 2021. So strap on your hula hoop, give it a few turns, feet hip width distance apart, ankles and knees soft. Big ovals with the hips. And then in the other direction. Hula hoop fast or slow. Just getting some fluid movement in and around the hips. Okay. Toss your invisible hula hoop off to the side, and then take your heels to the back edge of your mat. We're going to do our wide-legged forward fold. This often necessitates or is aided by some props. So you might have a blanket or a couple blocks in front of you on the floor in case you want them. So with the heels at the back edge of your mat, outer feet parallel to the short ends of your mat, turn your toes in just slightly. Tone the muscles of your legs as though somebody's looking at your legs and you want to show them just how strong your legs are. So tone the muscles of your legs. Lift into your kneecaps. Push down through the feet. Hands onto the back, elbows back, collarbones broad, chin and chest lift, and then exhale, hinge at the hips so chin and chest are now parallel to the floor. Plant your wrists on the floor below your shoulders. Push your thigh bones back, engage the legs, ground through the outer edges of the feet, reach the crown of the head forward, and then exhale, fold in. So as you fold forward, keep pushing through the feet, keep engaging the legs, keep lifting the hips, and now extend energy down the length of your spine through the crown of your head until your head can find ground. So whether ground means the mat, a blanket, a block, a series of props designed to come to the just the right height for your pose, your expression today. Get your head grounded onto something to have that experience of pushing downward from the hips through the head. So just as we root into the floor with our feet to get a better sense of strength and stability as we stand, can you do that now through the crown of your head? How often is your head bearing weight? In yoga, often, but outside of yoga, not so much. So again, the option, rather than just getting through this, which you might feel like you're doing, that's okay. But is there a point in the practice where you can find something that is enjoyable, pleasurable, interesting? Okay, and after some breath, after some attention to our bodies in this shape, maybe the head gets a little closer to the floor. Maybe you switch from 2 blocks to 1 block, a block to a blanket. And if you like, take your arms back behind you, interlace your fingers, and then extend out through the knuckles to lengthen the arms, and then start to release the knuckles towards the earth. This is a great pose, a great position to explore the shoulders. If you want to. Keep breathing. Fill the pitcher 3 more times. Empty the pitcher 3 more times. Or fill and empty the pitcher 3 more times. You can't fill it 3 times, then empty it 3 times. You gotta do those, you gotta fill it, then empty it, obviously. Upon completing your 3 rounds of breath, bring your hands back below your shoulders. Push yourself to the halfway lifted position, hands to hips, elbows to the ceiling, draw back through the sides of the waistline, and come on back up. Heel toe the feet back together. Strap on your hula hoop and send it out in one direction a few times. Fluid motion in the hips. And stop it. Send it out in the other direction. Okay. Crash your hula hoop, and we will come down into a lunge position. So this might be helpful if you have blocks, to place blocks on either side of the front of your mat. Hands on the blocks like a tabletop position, or hands on the floor in a tabletop position. Now let's start with the left foot forward, because I like to mix it up. I don't know which I prefer anymore. Whether I do the left leg forward and the right leg forward. It's just keeps us all on our toes. Okay, right knee to the floor. Hands either on the floor or the blocks on either side of the front foot. And then let's melt the hips forward, draw the chest forward, roll the shoulders back, and then push with the left heel, lift the left toes, round the spine, fold over the left leg. 2 more times. Inhale, hips forward and down, shoulders back, chest lifts, hips heavy, heart open. Exhale, push with the left heel, pull back with the left toes, fold over the left leg, lengthening the back of the left leg, rounding the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, hips forward and down. Exhale, push with the left heel, pull back through the left toes, round the spine. Inhale to come forward, left knee over the heel, tuck the back toes, and lift the right leg. So now we're in a lunge with the back leg lifted. Feel your feet on the floor and notice if the left foot is bearing all the weight. Send energy, send attention back to the right leg. Strengthen the right leg as though you're showing somebody, hey, look how strong my right leg is. And then bring your hands to your hips, point your elbows to the sky, draw back through the sides of the waistline and come up. So squeeze the legs together. Focus on the strength of your legs. So scissor the right foot forward, left leg back, tone the muscles of your legs as you lift your chest high. Arms come to your sides if you like. Lengthen down through the fingertips. Open the chest. Either choose to stay here or reach your arms overhead. Explore the expression of your lunge, whatever form it's taking. And again, this might be a moment where you feel like, I just have to get through this. Keep on keeping on, but perhaps have some curiosity. Notice what the mind is doing. The mind is telling you, like if you're having those not good enough thoughts, and then consider rerouting that thinking into curiosity. And get through it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the right leg. Push down through the right big toe, left leg. Push down through the left big toe ball mount. And then bring the hands onto the blocks or onto the floor on either side of your left leg. Inhale, bend the knee, reach the chest forward, straighten and lengthen the right leg. Exhale, push with the left heel, pull back with the left hip. You might fold over the left leg a little bit if you like, or a lot. Inhale to the lunge, chest forward, keep the legs strong, scissoring in. Exhale, push with the left heel to shift the hips back. One more time, inhale to the lunge. Exhale to this pyramid type shape. And then from the pyramid shape, look at your back foot, hop it forward a little bit and try to get the right heel down towards the floor and turn the right toes slightly towards the left. Right heel to the floor, back leg straight, right toes a little bit out to the left. And then we're going to walk the hands with or without the blocks over to the left, to the outside of the left leg. Both hands to the outside of the left leg. Hands on blocks or hands on the floor. Keep rooting down through the right foot. Tone the muscles of the right leg. Notice what and where you're feeling. It's okay if you don't enjoy it. It's okay if you don't enjoy it. That's a big part of it. It's like beginning anything, especially I notice with yoga, it's like, I want to like this, and when you don't like it, you feel there's like an anger or shame or frustration when you don't like it. What if we can accept not liking it? and decide that we just want to keep doing it anyway. We just want to get through it. And then find those moments of enjoyment and maybe expand on those moments gradually, not all at once. Let's come back to hands on either side of the left foot. Right toes can turn out to the right a little bit. And then we're going to switch sides. Right knee down to the floor or to a padding. And then left knee down to the floor, the padding. Let's do a couple of cat and cows between. Inhale, gaze goes up, belly goes down, tailbone towards the sky. And exhale, round the spine. So my hands are still on the blocks, but they don't need to be. Inhale to the cow. Exhale to the cat. And now it's the right leg's turn to come forward. So right foot between the blocks, between the hands. And we'll start with that flowing of the hips forward and back. At inhale, hips melt forward, chest maybe goes up, maybe gaze goes up. Exhale, hips go back. Right heel stays on the floor, right toes pull back towards the chest, rounding the spine over the right leg in this runner's type stretch. Inhale, hips sink forward, knee goes beyond the foot perhaps, beyond the ankle perhaps. Exhale, hips go back, round the spine. One more time. Inhale to come forward, melt the hips, lift the chest. Exhale, send the hips back. Inhale, come forward into the lunge with the knee over the heel, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and start with strength. So right foot, left foot, pull in towards the center. Tone and strengthen the leg. Again, remember, think about trying to show off how strong your left leg is. And then hands come to hips, draw back through the sides of the waistline, upright spine. Strong legs. Arms to your sides perhaps, palms forward, shoulders back. Sweep the arms overhead perhaps, maybe look forward or look up. And arrive in your expression of a lunge, a challenging pose, a strengthening pose. And it's an option to enjoy, option to not enjoy. I noticed I think this concept is really fueled by my own home practice is sometimes I feel guilty when I'm not enjoying it. What if I just gave myself permission to not enjoy it and do it anyway? Okay, we're done with this. Hands come down to the blocks on either side of the front foot, ankle or shin, and then push the hips back. So fuel this push by pushing down through the heel. This time the front of the foot stays grounded as the hips shift back. Inhale, bend the knee, chest forward. Exhale, send the hips back, maybe round the spine, tucking the chin towards the chest as you lengthen the right leg. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Last time. Inhale, forward. And as you exhale back this time, root down through the right foot, lift into the right kneecap, lengthen the right leg, and then step the left foot forward, turn the left toes out to the left. So the heel may or may not touch the floor of the left leg. It's okay either way. And then we're going to start to shift the upper body at an angle towards the right, bringing the hands to the outside of the right leg, onto the floor or onto props. So you might be asking yourself, where am I supposed to be feeling this? So there's no necessary supposed to, but you're likely going to feel this, this stretch, this pose, this this modification of pyramid pose in the right outer hip, the back of the right leg, the left outer hip, the left side body, lots of places to explore, to be curious about, to enjoy or not enjoy, and just get through. So I guess part of my thinking is that if I allow myself to not enjoy it, that really opens, then I can get rid of all this guilt and shame when I don't enjoy it. I don't have to experience that. And that might open the space up for actual enjoyment. Not that that's the only thing. I like enjoyment, but it's not the only thing. Okay, hands to either side of the front foot. And let's press back into some form of down dog. So if you're not bearing weight on the arms, you can come to a puppy dog pose with your knees on the floor and your arms extended forward. Otherwise, explore your down dog. You might walk it out, bending one knee, reaching the opposite hip, up and out. And we're not going to be there long. Now we are going to practice our headstands. It's been a while, but I'm excited to get back to headstand. So if you have a headstand practice away from the wall, go for it. If you do not have a headstand practice away from the wall, bring the short end of your mat to a wall and I'll get you started on something. So this is a pose that you're unlikely to do the first time you try it. Keep that in mind. Give yourself permission not to do it the first time you've tried it, or maybe ever. But we are just going to, pave the way towards this pose. So start by interlacing your fingers, keeping about 3 inches between the heels of your hands. I'm going to place my knuckles 3 inches from the wall on my mat, and then I'm going to take my elbows shoulder width distance apart. Place the elbows directly below the shoulders, shoulder width distance apart. Gaze between the forearms at the mat, and then release the weight of the heart down. So this releasing of the chest down, the heart down, is going to cause the shoulder blades to slump together, come closer to each other towards the spine. Let the shoulders stay close and then pull the shoulders away from the ears so that the shoulder blades are together and that the sides of the neck are long. Then draw the lower front ribs in and back to lengthen the middle spine, the middle back. Lower front ribs pull together and draw back, toning the upper abdomen and lengthening and strengthening the lower back. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up into a forearm dog position. So my gaze is between my forearms, my hips are lifted, my shoulders out of my ears, my shoulders together behind my heart. And then I'm going to start to walk my feet very slowly, very gradually towards the top of my mat. So as many of you have practiced with me in previous weeks, this is a very similar setup to how we did Pinchamayurasana or peacock feather pose, with the exception of the hands being apart and possibly putting a block between the hands. If you'd like to keep practicing that, please do. Otherwise, at this point, we're going to lower the head to the floor. So tuck the chin slightly towards the chest, lower the top of the head to the floor, and depending on the length of your neck compared to the length of your upper arms, this might look a little different. But for the most part, the top of the head is on the floor and the back of the head is cupped just ever so gently between the heels of the hands. Push down through the forearms, lift through the shoulders. If the head is not on the floor, place some padding between your head and the floor to bring the floor closer to your head. Walk your feet in little by little, and then we're going to come up the same way we did for Pinchamayurasana. There's many ways to come up here, but today we're going to lift the left leg. Bend the right knee and make little hops with the right foot, kicking the left heel to the wall. So keep pressing down through your head, keep pressing down through your forearms, and possibly float your heels to the wall. Squeeze the legs together once they get there, lengthen the tailbone up, practice balancing. If you didn't come up that time, let's try the second side. Right leg lifts, left foot hops, kicking the right heel
towards the wall, all the while pushing down through the head, pushing down through the forearms. And then maybe coming up into an inversion, maybe not, maybe just practicing the forearm dog pose with the head down or with the head lifted. So as I mentioned in the wide-legged forward fold that we did earlier, where we put our head on a prop, same rules apply here. So this idea that the head is now bearing weight, and in bearing weight, it's not passively bearing weight, but actively pushing against the earth. Enacting pressure on the earth as the earth puts pressure on us. So extending down through the forearms, down through the crown of the head, as we lengthen up through the feet, up through the hips, up through the tailbone. And again, it's okay if this is just a pose, an exercise to get through. Especially if you are new to this, the likelihood of enjoyment may be small. And that is okay. You don't have to like yoga. You don't even have to do yoga. But you don't have to like yoga to do yoga. So when you're ready, come on down. I just love a headstand. I have trained myself to love headstand. But when you're ready, come down, maybe bringing the hips to the wall, maybe bringing one leg down at a time. Try to make it down safely. Mindfully, bring your knees together. Sit your hips back towards your heels with your arms reaching forward. Spread your fingers, open your palms. Then set down the forehead, perhaps onto the mat or a blanket or a block. Rest the forearms down. Let the shoulder blades release, relax, surrender. Hips heavy towards the heels. And return to the breath. What do you feel? Where do you feel? What is the experience in the aftermath of that pose, of that attempt or experience of inversion? The hips being over the heart being over the head, a reverse of our typical blood flow. Sweep the arms back by your sides. Palms might turn up as shoulders slump forward. Shoulder blades now widening apart behind the heart, creating an expansion where there was once a contraction. Each inhale, explore, create space, access a new part of the back body with the breath. And each exhale, surrender tension. Surrender the weight of your body to the support of the mat, support of the earth. Okay, push your way up.
Into a kneeling position. So we're going to continue with the camel and rabbit sequence that we have established in the past year. So we'll have many options for the depth of this back bend and this forward fold. Camel being the back bend and rabbit being the forward fold. So we'll start in the kneeling position with the knees hip width distance apart. Lengthen down through the tailbone. So you might imagine back pockets on your yoga pants and you're just sliding your fingers into your back pockets. So lengthen down through the lower spine. So the flesh of the buttocks is pushing in and pushing down as the front of the pelvis lifts and lengthens. Roll the shoulders back, again contracting the shoulders onto the back of the heart, broadening your collarbones. And then tilt your chin skyward. Look towards the ceiling. So already we're starting to bend back. We're starting to open the heart space more. So this might be an interesting place to explore. As you go back deeper, you might like to have the support of blocks at either side of your ankles. Or you might tuck your toes under to get your heels higher. So either choose to stay in the upright position, or if you're feeling comfortable and curious, you might start to curl the upper body back. Looking along the ceiling towards the back wall, keeping the heart high, the chest open, the shins, the knees, the feet grounding down. Eventually you might seek blocks with the fingertips. Eventually you might seek heels with the fingertips. And then lots of options here for the head. So for me, I always accumulate tension in the jaw with the head suspended, so I like to release my head back. Some people that is painful. If so, keep your head suspended, or you can even tilt the gaze forward. Again, this might be one of those poses that you feel like you want to get through. That's okay. Decide to stay. Consider curiosity. Always breathe. Hands to hips, chest forward, head comes up last. Bring the knees together, feet together. Sink the hips back to the heels. Palms to the thighs, shoulder blades down the back. Neutralize your spine. Aligning the head over the heart over the center of the pelvis, letting the hips settle in, settle down, shoulder blades settle down the back of the chest. Return to your breath. I had a new revelation when I was just in that camel pose. Many of you have heard me pontificate on why that pose is called camel. So there's this obvious kind of like arching of the chest, maybe like the hump of a camel. But I was also thinking of this, the idea that camels are kind of synonymous with being grumpy. So I was thinking maybe just this pose, like so many people don't like this pose or have kind of a negative reaction to this pose, feel like it's a pose just to get through. Maybe that's part of the naming of the pose, the grumpy camel. And we're going to go back to the grumpy camel. So to make it very camel-like, we're going to make the hump 2 times rather than just one.
So have your blocks set up on your knees, kneeling, hands in the back pockets, lengthen down through the tailbone, roll the shoulders back, tilt the chest up, inhale, choose your adventure, possibly start to curl back, possibly release the head back, possibly seek blocks with the fingertips, possibly seek heels with the fingertips. If you find blocks or heels, the fingers are to the insides of the blocks or heels and the thumbs are pointing out to either side of the room, wrapped to the block, wrapped to the heel, inner elbows shining out, hoisting the shoulder blades to lift the heart. Ease out of the pose, bringing hands to hips, ribs, chest, and head come up last. Knees together, feet together. Sit the hips back towards or to the heels. Perhaps even a blanket between the hips and heels would feel comfortable here, or even a blanket underneath the shins to alleviate any overextension of the ankles. So neutralize the spine. Reflect on the aftermath of the shape. Where do you feel? What do you feel in this moment? Fill the pitcher, empty the pitcher. Open your eyes, arms to your sides, palms forward, shoulders back. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Cross just your thumbs. Reach up through the fingertips. Grow tall. Keep your hips low, and as you exhale, hinge at the hips. Drape your spine forward. Head and hands come down at relatively the same time. And then as you inhale, draw back through the sides of the waistline. Keep the hips low. Reach the arms overhead. 2 more times. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, this time fold forward and stay down. Head and hands touch down. Keep the hips low. Sweep your arms back to grab the outer edges of the feet. Wrap your fingertips to the insides of your heels, thumbs staying outside of the feet. And then tilt your chin towards your chest, drawing the top of the forehead, perhaps the hairline, to the mat. And then push your feet down to lift your hips up, rounding your back body strongly. So the arms are being pulled tight or taut here, with the hands gripping the heels, the hips going high, and breathe into this shape, the rabbit shape. Inhale, explore, create space between the vertebrae along the back side of your body. Exhale, pull the belly button in towards your spine. And slowly, hips to the heels, push your palms into your thighs. Come on up. Neutralize in rock. Settle into the hips, grow tall along the spine, relax the shoulders. Back to the breath, fill the pitcher, empty the pitcher. Okay, we're just doing that one once. Come to the outside of the left hip.
Sweep the legs forward. Take your feet hip width distance apart. Toes pointing to the top of the mat. Reach up, look up, lift into the heart, and then continuing to reach up, start to lower your back body to the floor, articulating your spine down one vertebrae at a time.
Probably at some point you're going to lay a lot of those vertebrae flat. That's okay. Keep trying
until eventually the head and the shoulders are down. You continue to look up, reach up towards the sky, extend your legs straight on the floor, and then as you exhale, curl the chin and chest up away from the floor. Reach your gaze and fingertips towards your toes. Squeeze the legs, lift your heels about 1 foot off the floor for Ardha Navasana, half boat pose. Get through it. Keep breathing. Strengthen your resolve, soften your face. You might do your bellows breath, sharp exhale through the nostrils as you pull your belly button in towards the spine. Automatic inhale sounds like this. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Head down, feet down, arms out to the side like a T. Bend your knees. Extend your legs straight up towards the ceiling. What am I doing here? Bend the knees. Don't extend your legs straight up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers behind the skull, cupping the base of the skull with the thumbs. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up away from the floor. And then as you exhale, extend your right leg straight out. Bring the right elbow to the outside of the left leg. Inhale, center. Exhale, left leg extends. Left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Inhale, center. Exhale, right leg extends. Twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, left leg extends. Twist right. Inhale, center. Right leg extends. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, left leg extends. Inhale, center. One more round. Exhale, right leg extends. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Extend the legs up towards the ceiling. Push your footprints into the sky. Reach up. Curl your back body off the floor. Push your feet up. Curl your low back. Curl your upper back. Reach up. Look up. Hold for 10. Get through it. 5, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arms to your sides. Head down. Push your arms into the floor. Sweep your legs overhead. So you're in kind of a similar position as we had in our C salutations earlier, except your arms are down on the floor in front of you instead of by your ears. And then we're going to slowly articulate the back body towards the floor as the legs come up to a 90-degree angle, and then slowly legs lower all the way back down to the floor. Take your arms out to a T, bend your knees, take your feet as wide as the mat. Exhale, let your knees fall to the left. Inhale through center, exhale, knees fall to the right. Inhale, center, and windshield wiper your legs in synchronization with your breath, letting the head, the arms, the chest settle into the earth. So there's this gentle flow of the legs from side to side, guided by breath. Another visit to the left, or another visit to the right to end that round of windshield wipering the legs. Both feet towards center, and then hook your left leg over your right, so a cross-legged position. And then lift your feet, cup your knees with your hands, and start to hug your knees in and up towards your chest. You can either choose to stay here if this is interesting or enough to get through, or slide your hands down the outsides of your shins, grabbing your outer feet. Flex the feet, pull the heels in towards the hips, in and up towards the hips. Release the feet if you have them. Uncross the legs, feet back to the floor, feet towards center. Hook your right leg over your left leg. Draw your knees into your chest, cup the knees, hug them in. Maybe slide the hands down to the outer feet, maybe flex the feet, maybe pull the heels in towards the outer hips as the knees hug in towards the chest. Unhook the legs, draw the knees in up towards the chest, full on happy baby. Feet open to the sky, rock side to side with shins perpendicular to the earth, drawing one knee down to the outside of the rib cage and then the other. Soles of the feet together. Interlace the fingers, widen the knees apart, flatten the low back against the floor. Lengthen the back body against the earth, extend through the inner thighs. Pull the arms taut, lifting the heads of the arm bones away from the floor, widening the shoulders apart. And finally, I have made it through. Knees together, give yourself a big hug. Draw your knees in towards your chest, wrap your arms around the fronts of your legs, tilt your chin to your chest, forehead towards or to your knees, round your low spine, squeeze in, and then let it go. So do your ritual setup for Savasana. If you don't have a ritual, you might start to create one. So do you have a sweater that you like to put on? Do you have a blanket you like to cover yourself up with? Do you have an eye pillow? EYE pillow. Just sounded like a Apple product for a second. Yeah, so what do you like to do to get comfortable and make an invitation into this space, into this time for relaxation, for release, for noticing. So the traditional form of this pose would just be to lie on your back. Sometimes that doesn't feel safe or supported. You might like to take your legs up the wall. You might like to fold over a big pillow or a bolster. You might like to take some form of child's pose. So whatever it is, make your way into that shape that feels safe and supported. And then take a little bit of attention, a little bit of time to extend out through each leg, down through the tailbone, out through the arms, out through the fingertips, settle the shoulder blades. Maybe consciously do a little action to lengthen through the back of the neck before releasing the weight of the head, the weight of the skull, the weight of the brain.
Notice what is happening now. Identify sensation, thought, emotion. Survey the landscape of your body, of this moment. And it's okay. And then do it again. So consider taking a step back from engagement, from doing, and observe. Observe the body, the mind, emotions. Take a look, and whatever you find, it's okay. As you're ready, when you're ready, invite movement back into your limbs, your extremities, your fingers and toes, and this might be accompanied by a bigger inhale and a long
longer exhale. Eventually, bend your knees, feet on the floor. Eventually, left arm along the left ear. Roll onto your left side, head supported on the arm, transitioning from our corpse position into a fetal shape. Emerging from the practice. And push your way up to a seat, just as we began the class. Root down through the legs and hips. Rise tall through your spine. Hands together in front of your heart or hands onto the heart. Come back to the pitcher. Fill the pitcher. Empty the pitcher. Fill the pitcher for one final chant of Om. Thank you for your presence, your perseverance, your devotion to the practice. The light in me recognizes and bows to the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you guys. I don't know who joined there, but thank you for joining. So yeah, Ava, Jason, it looks like you guys made it through the practice, and someone else. So thank you guys for being here. Please reach out. Happy New Year. Let me know if there's anything you guys would like to do next week or in the future. I feel like today was just getting the ball rolling again after a week off. It was a long week off. That's what it felt like. Yeah,